Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about which dash cluster is better, or is there a big difference between the two. Right now we have the 2005 Ford Crown Victoria, which this one has the older dash cluster. The newer dash cluster came in the 06 and up to the year they made the last Crown Victoria. Now the dash cluster in this car has been in the Crown Vics since, I want to say, the 95 model Crown Vic. Some 95s may still have had the older dash, real older dash I would say, but I know definitely from 96 on to 2005, Crown Vics had this exact dash cluster. Now there are two major differences with this from this dash cluster to the year after this car, which is the 06, and those two things are the tach gauge and the digital mileage and other information on the car. And of course you have a couple other little different features as far as where the check engine light is located and all those little warning lights and etc. But other than that, most Crown Vics look the same on the inside. But the dash cluster is one way to tell the difference in some of the years of the Crown Vic. So, like I said, this one is missing the RPM and the digital part. Now, the digital part is not such a big deal in these cars because you do have the display of your mileage. So that's not a big major thing. And of course, on some newer Crown Vics with the digital, it does go out. I've seen a lot of people say it's hard to see it, or things like that is not working. And then so once that light goes out, then now you don't know what's the mileage on the car or anything like that. Versus this way right here, you can't get it wrong unless it just stops rolling. But most of the time it does stay rolling, so you're good to go. Also, if you listen real quick, let's see if I rev it. You hear rev, but no needles move on the dash. That's because it's missing the RPM gauge. Now, a RPM gauge can be useful depending on how you drive your car, or if you want to know if your car is idling at the right RPM or whatnot. But other than that, you really don't have to have one. But if you are looking to have an RPM gauge, then you definitely want to go with the 06 and newer for the RPM gauge. But other than that, pretty much everything else works just the same on each dash cluster. You have your battery, your fuel, your temperature, and your oil gauge, and pretty much those are the only four things that you need to hit the road, really. I mean, everything else is it's extra. So in my opinion, I would say, yeah, the RPM gauge would be nice, but it depends on what you're shopping for. If your budget is okay, where you can buy a newer Crown Vic and you want to perhaps have that RPM gauge, then that's fine. But if not, then you can always settle for the one that does not have the RPM gauge. Would be the 05 Crown Vics and under, and you won't have the RPM gauge or the digital cluster part for the mileage. And the 05 is the last year that they had all this, before they changed everything on the Crown Vic. Some Crown Vics don't come to cruise control either, so it's a bunch of different things you have to look for depending on what you want out of the Crown Vic, because the Crown Vic is not made to be luxury at all. It has basically all your basic necessities, and that's pretty much it. For example, like I said, the digital part, with that depend on the newer Crown Vics, now that goes out. So that's why they try to stick to basic things that operate on the Crown Vic and go from there. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below, and if you haven't, subscribe to the channel to view more videos on this car and upcoming videos on the Econoline van. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.